Hi guys, this video is to help you get started with your piecewise function project. So you can find this document that I have pulled up in Canvas, and it kind of gives you the details. I'm just going to help you get started with a couple of technology um, tidbits that might help you out. So make sure you take a look. There are essentially two parts. One where you're going to be creating a graph in Desmos, a piecewise graph, and make sure you take a look at the requirements. It must be a function. It has to have a domain of all real numbers. It has to have at least 3 different functions, and only one of those can be a line. Try to switch up the functions a little bit. That makes it more fun. And then, of course, put your holes and points where necessary. And then the second part is going to be to write the piecewise equation, and I want you to do that to make it look nice. So either handwriting it and putting it into the document, or using some kind of equation editor to type it, but you need to make it look like it would appear on a test or your notes or textbook or whatever. So I'm going to help you out with those things in this video. So let's first focus on the graph. You're going to go to Desmos. Hopefully you've been there before, and go ahead and hit start graphing. And we are going to go ahead and come up with a couple of equations. So maybe you want to use the quadratic, a pretty straightforward one, and then let's say sine x, and let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's say plus 2. Okay, so of course right now, first of all, it is not fitting the graph requirement of this being a function, because if you look, it doesn't pass my vertical line test. A vertical line would hit both my blue and red, and I need to make it piecewise. So let's say that I want to split and make the parabola show up in the negative part, so move to the left of the y-axis, and make my sine graph show up here on the right side of the y-axis. Well, in Desmos, to do that, to write the domain of each of these, I'm going to open up a little bracket. Okay, so then I just tell it what I want. So I can say, well, for this parabola, I want x to be less than 0. Okay, and then for my sine graph, I want, open up a bracket, I want x to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so now you can see that the red is on the left side, the blue is on the right side. So they're no longer overlapping. By the way, a lot of our symbols are down here where that little keyboard is. You can kind of hide it. So I just use everything on the keyboard right now, but of course they're squared. If you want to do like to the 4th power or something like that, you can use those exponents there. Okay, but ask anyone if you need a little bit of help with those. Okay, alright, the only other problem is, you've probably noticed I put a less than and then a less than or equal to, and see how that doesn't really show up. Like right now, I don't know if it passes the vertical line test because I can't exactly see what's going on here. I can't see if there's a hole or there's a point. So I actually need to go in and manually put those points in. So what am I referring to? So I see that my parabola ends at 0, 0. So I'm actually going to type in the point 0, 0. Okay. Same with my sine graph. It crosses at 0, 2. So I'm going to put that point there. So again, now I can actually see what's happening there, but I can see that it doesn't pass the vertical line test. Both of those are closed. So to fix it, to make the this one a hole, since there's not an equal to, I'm going to go to this little gear right here. And here's where you can switch that up. So like, for instance, the green one, I'm going to make it red to match my parabola. And then I'm also going to hit this right here, and it can make it a hole. So you can see that it's a hole and it's red to match the graph. Again, maybe I want to make this one blue to match the sine graph. And I can hit done, and here we go. Okay, so now I can definitely tell that it passes the vertical line test, so that it is a function. Okay, so that is the first part of the piecewise function project. Of course, you need another function, so make sure you put a third one in there somewhere. Okay. Now the part where you need to write the equation. So again, there are many ways. If you are putting this in Google Docs, make sure you give me a screenshot of the graph itself, so you can either go to this little guy and say export image, and there we go. You can download it, and when you get ready, you just kind of throw it in to your document and it'll be there, or you could do a screenshot, either way. And then you're ready to write your equations. There are many ways you can do it. So you can write it. If you have really nice handwriting, you can write it, and then I might have put +2 on my sign, but you can write it and then throw it in there. Google Drawing is actually another way to do it. So insert drawing, and you guys might be a little bit better at this than me, but you can do scribble and y equals, and then our little bracket. It's kind of hard to write with a mouse, but you can get the gist. Okay. So it doesn't really like straight lines, so you kind of have to play around with it a little bit. But 2 for x is greater than, sorry, I'm trying to hurry. Anyway, this is a way you can do it if you can write it nice and neat so that we can see it. But anyway, save and close, and then it throws it in there for you. So that would be a complete project. Of course, you need a third equation, but this is what I would want you to save as a PDF and upload on Canvas to submit your project. Okay. If you have Microsoft Word, maybe at home, it's really easy to put a nice piecewise function in Word, so I can show you that really fast. So you're going to go to Insert and then Equation. You can go ahead and put your y equals or your f of x equals, and then go to bracket. And if you scroll down, it has our single bracket that we need. And then you'll go to matrix and actually choose the 3, since you'll have 3 equations, and then you can type in everything from there. Oh, it's just greater than or less than 0, sorry. Okay, so you can get an idea of how that would work too. So if you would rather do it in Word, it has a nice way to type all of that. Okay, so there are your options. Again, make sure you are meeting all the graph requirements and that you are submitting as a PDF under Canvas so that we can grade it. And also make sure you take a look at the rubric to see if you would get your total points. Okay.